Good day, everyone. All right, we're going to get this live stream started. I'll get this link shared out. There are some ceiling fans in here, and I can't figure out where to turn them off, but that's okay. Hopefully the audio is not too scuffed. Sharing this out on Twitter and the Discord, and we'll get rolling. Hello, hello. Hope you're all doing well. Yeah, we'll give everyone a couple minutes to get in here. We're going to take a look at some key ideas on Bitcoin and what would be a really important sign of strength for invalidating some short ideas into this $41,000, $42,000 harmonic target, looking something like this. Initially, this was a target after this low to shorten to this level, nice reaction, but I think more likely than not we'll come up to retest it again. There's some things that could change my mind about that. Right now, we're coming in and grabbing some liquidity where I might be interested in a scalp, and I'll talk a little bit about that as well. All right, well, let me just go over the kind of the higher time frame ideas, and then we'll get into some of the local ideas. I'm just going to scan through the comments really quick, make sure nothing's wrong with the audio or anything like that. Thank you. Harith says, just want to say I've been following you since 2022 and just want to say a big thank you for all your knowledge. I appreciate that. All right, so we're going to dive into some of the higher time frames stuff first. There's this big harmonic idea that has been on the chart for a while, and we have not reached the final target, and there's still some quite bearish ideas of rejecting it up above. I do want to point out here that what we're looking at here is the daily chart, and I think a nice clean short setup with clear invalidation would be to come up and take this high on the daily chart, back up into this 618 retracement, and just get a nice little wick through the level, fail to break out, and that would just be a manually entered market short trigger for me with clear, tight invalidation. Validation really being just a claim of this level. There are some ideas of a descending channel here, back up into testing the POC if we get a breakout up into all these daily highs. And depending on that timing and what order flow looks like, I might try that short instead. And what I mean by instead is it's very possible there's no short trigger up here, right? That price just breaks out, claims the level, and I'd just be waiting for higher. I have this on my chart, this descending channel idea, and I'm just going to keep an eye on the level if we break out above. But the major targets here are coming back and retesting this low, and I probably will be looking for scalp longs off that level, right? That's around 53,000. Maybe back up into some horizontal resistance for another leg down. So critical levels to be watching the order flow at for me are going to be here, back at 53K, and then of course, if we have the big liquidation event down into this final harmonic target around 43,000. Those are the big medium to higher time frame levels. It's important to note this is a bullish harmonic. So we would in fact be looking for price to rally to new all-time highs off of here. It's just the final leg of a bullish harmonic. So that's the macro kind of perspective of the ideas I'm looking at here. Of course, there's bullish ideas and all-time highs can come before these lows, but this is my primary thesis I'm trading around. That does not mean there's not long setups. In fact, maybe it will happen on the live stream. We can take a look at the order flow. I shared this in the Discord a little earlier today. Nice little idea of maybe a scalp long coming and taking these lows. So might get that trigger here. Just nice tight invalidation. Might take a stop on it. It's all right. Just targeting these local highs. Something like a 6R trade. Now, we'll be using a lot of the principles that I have shared in the scalping video I just posted to members, which I do plan on making public, although I had got some comments on Twitter yesterday that annoyed me, and I thought, I don't want them to get the alpha. But I'll probably still share it. Maybe I'll just share it in the public Discord as well. But anyways, we'll be taking a look at these local lows maybe during the live stream and what the order flow looks like there. I will note we just had a huge long close, and the local order flow shifted quite quickly from more bearish to bullish because we had big longs closing here. And I was asleep when it happened, but we can take a look at that really quickly too. And mostly we're going to do that for members, right? Because I've, especially new members, I referenced the order flow here, but I'll take a few minutes to explain why this shifted to bullish in the order flow. All right, so here we're just looking at positions opening and closing at market and seeing divergences against price. So we're just looking for limit orders to be holding up price against heavy selling or holding down price against heavy buying. And here we had quite a large bullish or bearish divergence forming. And you'll see, I'll take a moment to go back to the update there, pointing that bearish divergence out. But so what happened yesterday is in the Discord, I was pointing out these bearish divergences forming, and I made a joke here, all members looking for the trade idea, trying to skip the explanation, because here I had a scalp idea for shorting into this level, right? We'll look at it on the trading view chart in a moment. And what I wanted to do is explain the idea of shorting into a breakdown off of the local bearish divergences. And if you get continued bearish order flow, you can just keep holding that. And it's something I did in that scalping challenge video where I scalped the $190 up to 6,000. And I showed every trade and explained through it. But shorting into with tight invalidation, the local bearish divergences. So what was happening up here is we had continued longs getting absorbed up into this horizontal level. And I shared the last $5.7 million long that got absorbed here. So you're looking for those to get flushed out. That's just a really nice, this is the 5-minute chart, right into this key horizontal level, a really nice place to be looking to short. Of course, I really do like sharing these ideas with people who have access to, they're going through the educational content, they're reading, maybe it's a little extreme to have 5 paragraphs on a short idea, but I really like to explain the ideas, take that opportunity. And not long after, we had the big sell-off, right? So we saw all the bearish absorption, we had the sell-off, but we're gonna see where that started to reverse, and it happened after I went to sleep. And so today I gave the update that, I gave the update that I was turning in early. It's a scalper's paradise because we just kept seeing all these longs open, getting flushed out, and then you can see the longs getting flushed out here. But this morning, I woke up to see that we had big bullish divergences that formed in the order flow. So that's what we're going to take a look at here. We're going to look at live order flow, and we do actually have some more kind of signs of that happening locally. Very nice for scalping in particular. But anyways, the short where we had bearish divergences, this is a live trading view chart, is this, right? We had just tons of longs getting absorbed, but then we saw them flushed out, and ultimately this level was claimed with a shift in order flow, bullish divergences. And the reason I'm going to just recap this, like I said, is just to make sure the members are getting some more explanation, and we're also going to be looking at some of that order flow today, live order flow, and maybe there's some scalp triggers that I'm going to be taking. Now, it's so important that you realize that I'm not giving signals. I'm explaining what I'm doing and why. And if you're not an experienced trader, you shouldn't be trading ideas with live funds. You should be paper trading. And you definitely shouldn't be trading ideas you don't understand. But I like to explain what I'm doing and why. So this is where we saw the big bearish divergence form, and that last update with the $5.7 million market long absorbed here. You can see CVD, the yellow line, just pushing up, making new highs. We had some other big longs in here, 12 million, 18 million, 11 million, all just kind of sitting in this range. And the idea would be to short this is, well, you want to flush out those longs. And so we saw a decent number of them flushed out here, with negative 8.7 million, negative 10 million delta. Let me just make sure I'm on the right screen. I am. And then as we push back up into the range highs, again, we don't know what the reason this trader did this was, but we see this big $22 million long close here, decrease in open interest, big in a 5-minute candle, $22 million long, and CVD plunge down, making a new low against price making a higher low. And then we just see price grinding up with, after this bullish divergence is formed, more selling getting absorbed, price impulses higher. And then we kind of have a little bit of a bearish divergence forming here locally. But again, the warning signal here is big 9.8 million long closing at market, decrease in open interest, this position closing, getting absorbed, price just holding up, CVD making much lower lows, and price just grinding higher again. And that's sort of what we're seeing now. A little bit of a bearish divergence, not a ton of volume, but some longs opening here, CVD making a new high, price making a lower high, and again, a big 10.9 million long close. So there's a lot of emotion in this decision making, right? Like, what was the trigger here to close the breakout kind of reclaim of this range, giving us kind of a perfect retest? For whatever reason, this trader said, I'm out, and closed at market, 22.6 million, giving us a big bullish divergence on the reclaim. So something important to note about local order flows, that context can shift really quickly. The scalping video I did was mostly on this sell-off, and initially I was kind of interested in some longs, but we saw continued bearish absorption. So there was a nice opportunity to short into what was ultimately a choppy downtrend, but just saw continued longs getting absorbed. So anyways, point being here, I am interested in a long taking this low. We may or may not take it because we already have bullish absorption forming. What I'd like to see is maybe a little lower, some longs open, get absorbed, chop lower. I already know it's very likely we're going to have bullish divergences taking this low because, well, we already have them, right? If price comes lower, that will require more market selling relative to price. And unless a massive long opens here and gets absorbed, which would be a big warning signal, and maybe we'll see that, I'd like to take that long and scalp it up into that high. So I'll explain it if it happens. Just worth noting right now, some big positions opening, closing, and the closes are getting absorbed, and we have bullish divergences forming all in this local uptrend in the order flow. And again, the mid time frame target is just to come up and push up and take these highs for a short setup, and that's what I'm going to look for. Come wick this high back into the 618. I did share this level several days ago too on Twitter, just saying that the two kind of key levels for local resistance up here and critical high time frame resistance up here. And in the post I said, I'm not sure if we'll get up to retest it again, but if we do, I think it'll be a nice short opportunity. And what I mean by nice opportunity isn't that the trade will certainly work, but it's such a critical level, and you could imagine order flow giving a clear signal here, probably a pretty high probability trade on a failed breakout here. Put on some risk, manage that risk, and there's certainly some deeper bearish ideas on the charts that are worth looking at here. I want to note, I'm going to take a quick moment to note this because the more people that want to join the Discord and know about it, the better. The prices for the Discord are going to be doubling at the end of the month. So it's going to become a little more cost prohibitive to join, but for existing members, that doesn't change the price that you will pay in the future. So whatever price you joined at, that's what you'll continue to pay. But for new members, it's going to double next month. And it might increase the month after that. I think I'm going to... I don't know. I'm going to make the Discord a little bit more prohibitive, I think. But along with that, I understand there's people that's just out of their the realm of possibility for them to pay. So I'm going to do some more membership giveaways. The best way to participate in a giveaway, in this case, there's a video you can retweet, but I'm going to just participate in the non-members Discord. I'm going to go through, and I'm going to pay attention to the people who are grinding in here. Are clearly Los Santos, obviously I see you in here. but clearly putting in the work, and I have no problem bringing those people up to a membership status, because I know it's just not going to be an option for many people to afford to join. All right, and all the links to join are in my Twitter bio. We'll look at some alts here as well. There's a couple ideas I'm looking at. I don't know how likely this is on CRV. I'm not really interested in the short so much, but I wouldn't mind just being prepared to long a sweep of this wick if we get it. Again, not particularly sure how likely that is. I have some alerts down there. If I get it, I'll trade it. And that's going to be a theme that you'll notice on lots of these alt charts. Is I'm not trying to predict what price will do, but what I am trying to do is be prepared for really key ideas to trade if I get them. So this is the daily chart on Doge. I quite like the idea of getting one more retracement, whether we get it or not, flush out these highs here. Maybe we come and build an ascending channel. I just kind of have this drawn here almost for fun. I don't actually care. There's no reason to suspect that we're going to form this channel, but I'll get a little bit more interested in it if we come intersect with this descending trend line, run these highs right at the timing intersection here, right? There's a little bit of a fib confluence here. I think it runs a little bit higher, yeah. It's kind of right in this region, but I'm just going to keep it on my chart so I don't forget it, the idea. But taking these highs and then retracing down into these daily candle lows, retesting this level into the 618. Just a critical idea on Doge. I'm going to trade it if I get it. Not saying there's not other long ideas, not saying price will go down there, but I want alerts. I want to know if price is coming down here, because that for me is actually a swing opportunity towards all-time highs. And yeah, I'll trade it if I get it. ETH has been quite clean here. So this was an ETH short setup, taking these highs here. And I can't help but notice how clean this range has been on ETH. You know, we formed these local highs on the 1 hour chart. We come up, sweep them, come sweep these lows. We're sweeping the highs now right into the GP. Definitely very scalpable. I was looking at this earlier today. But ultimately, for the bearish case for me on ETH on the mid to high time frames would be, this might sound a little bit confusing, but if Bitcoin comes down towards its 42K major harmonic target, I'd actually just be looking for ETH to come and fill this wick, fill the low that it made back on the start of the month of August 5th. And one of the reasons is that ETH is at critical support against Bitcoin, ETH BTC. And I wouldn't be surprised to start seeing some strength. This is the ETH BTC 3-day chart, some strength out of ETH here. Of course, we break this down, ETH could continue to be weak against Bitcoin. But yeah, for me, my target for ETH is just to fill this wick around when Bitcoin is coming down to the 42K target. If we lose this low, and I'll be longing that as a swing long as well. If we lose this low, there are some deeper targets around $1,500 that I'm going to be watching. But this is kind of the main idea on ETH, and it's one of the primary short targets for this short setup. There's some local lows in here as well. I can just quickly, I'm going to go here really quick. So I'll just show you this. So I don't have a ton of Discord updates on ETH, but this just in the ETH updates channel in the Discord. So this is back on the 12th, 8 days ago. Was just looking for the short, right, to take this local high here. And here just preparing. Every time price comes up close to the level, I have alerts. I'm just saying preparing to take that short, right? And just explaining that this is the idea. Come fill the wick. Come take this local high. Again, just explaining the setup, right? So you can't say the Discord member shouldn't be prepared for that level to get taken. These are the old ETH charts. Of course, we did have that nice rejection here. This circled high, nice clean idea there to short ETH. my perspective here on ETH just really hasn't changed, which is I think the clean short idea was coming, the higher time frame idea was to come and take, let me just remove this, come and take this high. That's the high we came and wicked up through. Really nice rejection. We're making a potential lower high, forming a bit of a range here. Now I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin pushes up towards its local high up here, where I'm interested in taking that swing short, for ETH to do something similar, right? Come up and maybe test this trend line, test this 382. And so I think that would still be another short opportunity potentially on ETH, targeting back into this wick. And it's a pretty big pullback. It's probably something like from the high, 26%. Fill this wick, and I'll be looking to swing long off of it. I think that's pretty straightforward structurally. Now, again, one of the important things to remember is this isn't about saying what price will do. Like somebody would say, let's just say this happens. Price comes up here on ETH, and then just breaks out and goes straight up to new all-time highs. People will say, oh, you thought that price was going to go down and fill this wick. You're an idiot. Of course it's not, because of whatever XYZ reason. It's not that I think price is going to do this or that. These are setups, which is I want to be short if we're rejecting from these highs. That would be this short idea. And I want to be long down filling this wick, especially with a nice reaction. And I have nice invalidation. So it's more about making the decision, if this, then this. If we cannot break out of this high, I want to be short until we do. It's a nice short setup. I have some nice targets down below. If we come down and sweep this wick, I want to be long until we break this level down. There are some more confluences here, by the way, at this level. But I want to be long down from this level. And if we break it down, I want to close my long, right? So a lot of traders would be better off to be thinking about, instead of thinking, this is going to happen, then this is going to happen, ETH is going to go up here, then it's going to come here, then it's going to go here, then it's going to go here. You think about in terms of levels, which is if price cannot claim this level or is bouncing from this level, I'm short or I'm long. And if this happens, then I'm going to cut it at a loss, and it's predetermined. I've already worked out my sizing. Yeah, so anyways, pretty straightforward structurally. I think here on ETH, on the mid time frames, clearly lower time frames, scalp ideas in here. I mean, we're just in a range here, right? The other big question mark here is going to be XRP, right? So there's two big levels I'm watching on XRP. I did have over the weekend a limit long set here. I wasn't on the charts active, but if we did come back and retest this level, I wanted to fill it. It's our multi-year kind of POC if we pull a volume profile across this daily chart. We clearly, I said it when price was here in this descending trend line. I think the last ETH update was right around there, that I'm just going to have a limit order set here. We clearly broke out of this descending trend line, claimed it, and we're up pushing towards these highs. So for me, although I think it's not unreasonable to think that XRP could just see choppy continued strength and break out of this descending trend line, I'm still going to be prepared to trade any pullbacks into local lows. And obviously, it's quite likely that if Bitcoin bearish scenarios do play out, even if we see a strong XRP, that we get some significant pullbacks on XRP as well. Of course, it's possible the two diverge. But again, I think this is an important level on XRP for me to be prepared to watch and trade. And I think also pretty straightforward. Let me read through the chat here a little bit. You're welcome. AK47 says, thanks for taking the time doing live. And then he tagged it Creepy Alien. I recognize the name, a new member in the Discord. You're welcome, and welcome to the Discord. Someone says, Lucky, what if you've been a member for a while, but you cancel for 1 month? Will you have to pay double when you rejoin? No, I didn't think about it a lot, but I think my plan would just be whatever price you joined at is your price. I understand like people take vacations or they have a really busy month working or whatever it is, and they just aren't going to be active at all, and they want to even just pause their membership. So I think the plan would just be that whatever price you joined at is just going to be your price indefinitely. For life. And obviously it just does not feel right to raise the price on members who joined at a certain price. And probably also maybe if they're going through the educational content, and just I'll do a quick snapshot of this while we're kind of waiting for. I mean, this is quite a bullish divergence on ETH, or Bitcoin, but I'm not going to trade it. Not going to be surprised to see higher here though. But I'll just go through the Discord really quickly, which is obviously just tons of updates, right? I mean, we're going to be seeing these explaining. So, like for example, here's an update the other night. I was pointing out these big bearish divergences, right? 12.9 million, 12 million, and I just posted this. We're going to come back to this in 1 second. I just posted this 2.5 hour scalping video. So this is my scalping video. I show every single trade, $190 to 6K, showing why I'm holding profit, showing when I take profit, showing when I enter long, short, whatever. And so in my updates here, I was applying some of those concepts that were in that video. And so just counter trading these really aggressive longs. I said still something like this doesn't seem unreasonable at around 9R. So this is with a really tight stop. We're talking like 0.3% stop loss into these highs, looking to fade all these aggressive longs coming. And this is back on the 16th, so 4 days ago. So I said it can easily get stopped, but looks reasonable targeting these lows. And we're on the 1 minute chart here, right? So it's just pointing out really aggressive longs. It's the same concept I used in that scalping video. And obviously if we have a bigger breakdown, it can run to 23R. I did give an update in the other channel that I was signing off for the night. This was Friday night. And so I just made a joke here, that feeling when your scalp is at 7R profits, but you're waiting for your Discord group leader to tell you to TP1 and remove risk. We came down, swept this low. We had a really nice rejection, flushed a ton of those aggressive longs. I just gave the update from my mobile because I was out, and then came back up to retest the highs. But anyway, so I'm giving constant live market updates, explaining what I'm doing and why and what I'm looking at. And so, for example, the short before that, same thing, right? I just said this is probably worthwhile to short. Super aggressive longs, 10.9 million, 5.4 million. Looking to trade this down. It could be traded, I said, wide if you don't feel like managing it locally, or tight as a scalp managed locally. Not very long after it all, price just nukes straight down, right? That's that big move down that we had from 59K down towards 58K, explaining, again, there's a reason to continue to hold. They haven't closed. Price could break down much deeper. I consider level below local support though. First I said they got wrecked. But anyways, these are the types of live market updates, right? Where you're looking for these big positions to close, and then just saying, I think it's reasonable to take profits on this short if we reclaim this level, if this big move to the downside. Otherwise, why not just hold it? Updating here, $25 million long opening. So that's quite bearish. And so, anyways, just pointing out my perspective in order flow. That's kind of what the live updates look like. There's also a bunch of educational content. So let me go here. So you can go through these different topics, trading psychology, order flow, and there's content and videos regarding those different concepts, volume profiles. I've changed the Discord so that everything is organized differently. And what I'm going to have to do is migrate some of more content. There's also all these alpha videos, static content, alpha slides, explaining different concepts. So a lot of static content in there, a lot of live updates. And then obviously community sections, blah, blah, blah. That's what you're getting in there. Sort of like a big, it's like a trading journal for me, where I'm documenting and explaining everything I'm doing and why. All right, let me just finish skimming through the content comments here, and we Should keep an eye on Bitcoin here so we can maybe come and test these local lows. Someone else asks, hi Lucky, existing members here. Yep, Soars, he's been here for a while. Have been paying monthly so far, would like to take the yearly. Best to do so by the end of the month, I understand. Doing my best to get the funds by then. Just know, Swords, nothing will ever change for you. Like, you've been a member for a long time. The price you're paying is always the price you'll pay. So if you're an existing member, it doesn't matter. None of this is going to matter for you. Is the price of the LATF doubling for those non-paying members as well? Well, technically, if you're a non-paying member and price doubles, it's still zero. So I suppose so. But important to note, whatever price you joined at, if you're a long-term member, none of this, it's not going to affect what you're paying. Okay, yeah, everybody asking if they stop the membership, will they have to? No, I've already answered that. If they stop the membership and restart it, you can just join at the price that you've always been at. Thanks. Baguette says, Lucky, you're a legend. I've learned so much from Discord over the past couple of years. Yeah, that might be a good idea. Patrick says, I heard Gerard, he's another long-term member, LATF OG. He heard Gerard will run a 10-round interview for new Discord members that want to join. Yeah, maybe we need to do entrance interviews. Jokes aside, though, like, I would say with very, very few exceptions of thousands of people who have been in the Discord, our members are amazing. Like, people are awesome. Can we pay with crypto? I will consider a membership ASAP. Yes, you can pay with crypto. There's a crypto payment option on the website. It's at the top of the website. It says pay with crypto. I think it's a little hidden though, because I get that question all the time that people don't have PayPal. You can go PayPal or crypto. All right. Yeah, I really wanted to cover the main idea. So something worth noting here is that, price can go lower on Bitcoin, but I don't really think it's that interesting to be short here personally. Like, I don't think there's anything super clear in the order flow locally, other than we just had a $11 million long close, and this would be something like if you're scalping the 15-second chart, which I'm not, and if you've seen the scalping video, you'll kind of understand what I'm talking about and how quickly those decisions have to make and what makes those trades kind of worthwhile. But certainly could have looked to counter trade this off of something like this on the lowest time frames. Again, this is more for members right now that have watched that scalping video. Just giving a frame of reference. We have these lows. We have the big wick. Looking to trade back up into that bullish divergence, and just looking for continued signs of strength. And this is one of those situations where you can scalp long into this and basically just hold if we see continued strength up towards these highs, up and towards these local highs into the GP. You can kind of eyeball it's going to be the GP, pull it kind of quick. But if you're scalping this really low time frame, you basically are just not going to let this come in and take a loss. You hold for continued strength. If there's continued strength, you keep holding higher. You watch the order flow. If you see big aggro longs coming up here, you just take profits on the scalp and you wait for lower or wait for a new setup. But that's how I think it's certainly counter tradable. But like, say in the context of this live stream, something like this is a little bit more reasonable as like a mid time frame trade where the liquidity ideas on a bit higher time frame and could maybe be a little more clear. But you really have to understand what the context of taking a scalp long like this off of the order flow would look like, because we're really talking about 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 up to maybe 0.7% movements in price. And that is possible to trade, but you have to really know what you're doing. All right, somebody's asking, what are your plans for the trading arena? How big do you want to go with it? So the trading arena, I've shared many links to it before. It's a paper trading platform. You can use it right now. It's fully functional. It's gives you a fake trading balance, and you can compete with other traders, track all your trades history and data. And you can also build like systems, so you can like sort by confluences in systems. So when you take a trade, you can just say like, you can have your own custom confluences. Like if it's fibs, channels, fair value gaps, whatever you want to do, you can just have a list of things and check mark them. And then when you go sort through your data, you can sort through trades that were taken with those confluences and look at their win rates and what have you. And then all you're competing against other traders. So right now you'll see yourself on a leaderboard against all the other traders that are using the platform. And currently the top 3 performing traders get a free LATF membership. That's sort of the like kind of fun reward it's for practicing, learning, building up experience. But the long-term plans for it is to launch it into, you need a MetaMask wallet to join. All your trades are tracked that way. Is to have competitive trading seasons. So have rewards for traders, paper trading, and have a native token that you get rewarded in as well, and competing in set seasons. So those seasons, there's going to be basically different trading competitions. There would be like, it would start like a 3-month trading season, a 1-month trading season. There'll probably be some shorter term trading seasons. And you basically go in and compete against other traders and earn rewards based on your performance there. There's already some cool stories from the trading arena. It's just in a beta right now, right? It's fully functional. You can use it. You can track all your trades, take trades. But there was, he has a free membership because he was also a top trader on the trading arena, top 3. But he was crushing it in the trading arena, and it was a huge turnaround for him to paper trade. He's always struggled with different ideas, but when he saw the performance he had trading with low leverage, managed risk, paper trading, it gave him a ton of confidence, and he ended up getting a funded trading account, and he ended up getting the largest payout weekly. I think it was a weekly payout in that prop firm's history, $70,000 US. So that was a kind of a cool story. I shared it at the time, and he messaged me and said he credits that success with what he learned from the LATF and his experience paper trading at the trading arena. So what's important to me about the trading arena is to provide a place for people to trade safely when they're learning, to develop those skills, to track their data, paper trade, get a free paper trading balance. There's nothing at risk, but to still feel like there's a reward, right? To still feel like you could earn something from it. Right now it's a free LATF membership, but in the future it will be winning a trading competition essentially. Like it will just be a repeating trading competition. That's the long-term goal with it. And for that to succeed in a big way, I definitely need to do some work to launch it properly and have a lot of exposure. I want the first competitive trading season to be a really cool big event. And the long-term plans are also to make it an educational platform as well. So basically, as you use different tools, as you like, there's also achievements you earn. Like it's almost like a skill tree. So as you unlock certain things like P&L targets, win rates, different things, you get little achievements in your profile as well. But as you do certain things, you basically get like prompted with like how to use the tools I'll say properly, but make it not just a place where you experiment, but where you have access to educational content as well. So it's sort of that would be the long-term plan. Like it's dynamic with your trading. The things you're doing is prompting you. Maybe even, for example, you take like a big loss that like exceeds. Like maybe this would be a perfect example of what I'd want it to do. Let's just say you take 10 losses in a row, and as your data is compiling, maybe they're 5%, 10%, 15% of your account. It gives you a pop-up and it says something like, Did you know that what you're doing right now isn't EV positive? And statistically, if you keep trading this way and you take 100 more trades or 150 more trades, you will blow up your account. But if you resized something like this, if you resized your positions like this, you would survive the drawdown of your trading statistics, and it would actually be EV positive, and then maybe link you to some videos. That's a little extreme, but something like that where it's a little bit of a dynamic educational platform as well. Long-term plans, but already people who have given feedback love it. It's a fully functional, it's free, and a lot of work has gone into it. D-Hawks, a member in the Discord, has helped me build it, so super awesome guy. A lot of people don't even know it exists. A lot of work went into that, a lot of time. I mean, over about a year and a half, it's been built, and it's free to use, so give it a try. Somebody's saying, bro, how do you scalp 15 seconds and reduce fees? IndoFire, I know there's an IndoFire who's a member, so I'm assuming you're the same one. Watch the scalping video that I shared in the members Discord, because it explains it, how I'm doing it, how I'm managing the fee structure there. Someone asking who are the best LATF traders. I don't know. I have some guesses, but I won't say. I can't say. I'm not certain, but I have some guesses. But it doesn't really matter. Be the best trader you can be. Yeah, this is, I'm not going to be surprised to get front run on this idea of the scalp. Maybe I'm not going to spend, I really want to cover the big ideas on Bitcoin here. I don't really want to spend my whole day on the live stream. It's super funny there. There's a little bit of drama yesterday because I tagged some big accounts in saying I've been at 50,000 followers or around there for like a year and a half, and I grew really quickly. So I was like, that's kind of interesting. I was looking at that like flat line in my followers. So I did a post, and then I just tagged accounts that I know have followed me for years. Some of these big accounts followed me from when I was like a couple thousand followers. And so I know I pop up on their feed probably fairly often. But people like lost their mind because, they're apparently these accounts are scammers, right? But the funny thing is, if people did a little bit of critical thinking, I'm appealing to the audience of those traders, right? Or those big accounts rather. Not promoting those big accounts. I'm appealing to the audience of those accounts. And if they retweet me and promote me to their audience, that's good for their audience. And that's who I'm trying to reach. So, I thought it was kind of ironic because Lady of Crypto was the only one in that list that retweeted me, and then actually DM'd me. It's the first time I've ever spoken to her in DMs. But I actually haven't even interacted with her on Twitter since 2022. I was surprised she retweeted me. I just know she's followed me for a long time. But she just messaged and said, hey, how's it going? I said, it's going well. Thanks for the retweet. Hope all is well with you. But, the Gan Man retweeted me as well. Absolutely. But anyways, the funny thing is she was the only one that retweeted me, and 90% of the comments were calling her specifically a scammer, and like, why would you even tag her? So I thought it was kind of funny that she retweeted it because it was so negative in all the comments. So I said she's a legend for retweeting that because it's kind of funny. Like you're retweeting into a pretty hostile environment there. Yeah. Anyways, not a big deal. I like to lean into the drama a little bit, like on Twitter. Like I said, I posted about it and said I'm canceling the live stream. But the reality is I just canceled the live stream because somebody showed up to surprise me and I had to cancel it. But I just like leaning into the drama a little bit. I'm considering the crypto Twitter villain phase for a little while. All right. Well, hopefully, let me just kind of think for a second if there's anything else I really want to talk about. Say is still kind of reacting from this. It's in this kind of range here. It's come up and taken some local highs. This was the Say short. So I just want to point something out. Say short into the long targets. I posted a lot of these trades and ideas on Twitter. I didn't just let me go here. When I update some of the things that I do in the Discord, I'm not a lot of times I'm showing the targets and explaining what I'm looking for next, but people kind of get a little bit frustrated, I guess, if I'm sharing what I've updated in the Discord. But like, for example, here on Say, was looking for this move down, a high, a new high, lower high. I've talked about that fractal idea that I came up with on Discord. And then here I took that Say short, said going to try Say short here based on fractal idea earlier, everyone, just a simple range will cut, targeting these current lows. A nice, pretty decent sized move to the downside. Was it something like 17% or something? 16%, 17%. But I'm posting all this on Twitter too. I'm explaining I took this short. These are my targets. This is my long target, the long idea down here. Had a nice reaction off of that low, so updating the Discord. But these are what the updates look like in the alt channel, right? So here, for example, I updated WIF, which this ended up being, we got a major rally off here. That I was maybe could try higher low. I prefer taking this major low, but it's sort of the similar setup that I'm looking for on Bitcoin as a minor low, right? And we can look at that chart in a second. But I'm just updating all of the different levels I'm looking at on alts. I talked about this idea already on CRV, but this is back on the 13th. Updates here that Say is approaching the final short target, and it's approaching the long setup, right? Say approaching target again. It's not uncommon for me to continually update as levels approach, but what I want to be really clear for, especially the members in here, and I know a lot of you viewers will be members, set your own alerts on setups you want to trade. Do not rely on me to update every chart and every trade for you. You should have, you can see my alert set here, you should have alerts set as price is approaching your key level. Be prepared to trade the ideas you want to trade. These updates are for me to explain what I'm doing and why, not to be signals that you're going to trade every idea off of and just rely for me to give you an update, right? I'm explaining the idea. So here was looking for, the front run of the level, just explaining on the lower time frame, we've swept this low, but we actually did front run this. So a nice setup, sweep and reclaim the low. This is always a setup I'm interested in on GP front runs. I updated here on WIF as price came into this low that we're retesting this key level. Click the message this is a reply to for a context update here. And I did not trade this on WIF, by the way, but we can just look at it really quickly on the live chart. This ended up being would have been a really nice setup, right? On the daily chart here. We came down to test this level into the GP, really nice reaction, and we ended up rallying for the higher low. We're up like 20% from the low. So this key level, certainly tradable, would have been a nice reaction. I had it on my chart. I did update it, but I didn't trade it. I was actually preferring this low to get taken, and it still may. I'm also looking through here just to see if there's any other ideas I want to talk about. This one I was doing the scalping challenge. Yeah, so again, was looking for this local low to be taken on the 15-minute here on Say, just for giving an example of a local trigger. Had some nice reactions off of there. Pinning this for new members, just to give reference to the short I'm talking about. This is me explaining I was going to put a limit here on XRP. We just broke out this descending channel, didn't get it. Me explaining the Doge setup I'm interested in. This is a TIA trade I took. This was a while ago on the 12th. Had a really nice move off of this low. So I just explained on the low time frames here, I was looking for this move down, break up out of this on the 5-minute chart into this higher time frame key level. Taking that, and we were broke out. I said I'm also took TIA along, and that's where we had that big rally, but we've now broken down. We actually came up to this target up here, but we actually have completely broken down this level now because this was the long, this is the high we put in. I didn't short this, probably should have, because we had a big rejection there. So anyways, that's what it looks like. I don't really think there's any other charts I want to spend too much time on here. There's also some, I would just recommend reading members' testimonials too. That's probably the best way to get a sense of what the Discord has on offer. I really do, like, people don't seem to understand what a difference it is to share and talk about trade ideas with people who have gone through hours of content explaining the concepts behind your trades, that read multi-paragraph explanations, that you're interacting with, that are asking questions, and that you have a community with, and just random people on Twitter that have no idea what you're talking about, no idea how to manage the risk. No, they don't care about any of that stuff. They don't actually care about how to trade. They're just trying to, like, people will literally say, like, I'll say looking for this. I swear I'll even say looking to short a failed breakout or something like this on Twitter, and people will comment, is this a long setup or a short? Or they'll comment, should I long now? Do I short? It's like they don't even understand anything you're saying, let alone some of the more complicated ideas. I don't want to share all my trades, especially some of the concepts that require some more a little bit more work to understand. It's so much different even sharing like low time frame scalp ideas with someone that sat and watched a 2.5-hour video of you scalping and understands those concepts and has asked you questions than just random people on Twitter. But yeah, we'll take a look at order flow before I go. I mean, it hasn't changed much. It still lies bullish locally. And it's kind of bullish on a higher time frame too, medium time frame too. Like basically what you're hoping for here, if we come up and take this high, it's just gigalongs trapped, right? Like something like this, and this is why I shorted here. I actually ended up, I did take this long as well off this wick. But something you're looking at here, and this is like 10 days ago, 11 days ago, is you have a range form and really bearish absorption, just tons of longs opening across this range. And that's why I was short into the lower high for this sell-off from around, this is 62K down to like 57K. And so what we're hoping for here is this high is taken and tons of longs start opening up, tons of short squeezed out, tons of longs start opening. We have the failed breakout and price rejects, and maybe we range a bit and we see something similar, just tons of longs opening, maybe into the end of the week, and then we break down to these targets to the downside. If we just keep seeing bullish absorption into a grindy trend here, well then, just frankly, the shorts set up here and even the high time frame targets, they're just lines on a chart. And if you're really good at drawing lines on the chart, which is essentially trying to predict how certain types of traders will get wrecked or react to different levels, which is ultimately what technical analysis is. It's price seeking liquidity and different ideas and patterns repeat. But ultimately it's traders behind, there's traders behind, people behind every movement in price, right? Like price doesn't move for no reason. And so if order flow is not aligning at all with the idea, well, then it starts looking less interesting. And right now, frankly, the order flow here is bullish across this range, all the way from 49K. Like these lows are bullish, but it was bullish here on this medium time frame, but got really bearish locally into a downtrend, right? So that doesn't mean price can't rotate to the downside. So watching the order flow up here is going to be really important, and we'll see what happens. So with that said, I'm going to kind of end on my higher time frame view, which is I could imagine a scenario where two kind of scenarios here where we come up and take this high. And let me just clean off this chart just a little bit here. Get some of these scalping levels off here. Where we come up and take this high and we see just tons of short squeezed out and super aggressive longs, maybe get an initial reaction to wipe them out. Certainly, regardless of what happens mid time frame, probably a nice level to scalp, right? Like for initial pullback, lock a TP at one in. Maybe if there's a lot of ambiguity in the order flow, maybe we have a trend line here, maybe price runs out 50 million longs here, and it's like, okay, I'm going to TP1 and maybe I'll leave a little bit running as a swing, or maybe this happens and we go sideways and more and more longs get absorbed, more and more and more, and then we just have the big sell-off. But I can imagine what order flow could look like here for a nice short setup. Alternatively, maybe a break up into this high for another try. If we start claiming these levels, then it's time to start considering all-time highs again, I think. It's not to say you want to long the top. It's just saying that, like, it's not a sign of weakness. And we have the POC up here, sort of maybe a last line of defense for bearish ideas. But these are the kind of two areas I'm going to be looking to trade around quite aggressively. And I still like the macro idea of coming down into this 41K low, but we're going to have to see what happens in order flow here. Is there signs of strength in price action or weakness? What happens down at 53K? And if we bounce there, for maybe a lower high, maybe we get some more bearish, like a bearish descending kind of structure here, something like this. Nice bearish trend line, bearish absorption, more longs getting run out, and then we just have the final leg down, take these lows, swing long to Valhalla, 500K Bitcoin, or at least 100K. And that would complete some of the macro Elliott wave count ideas, for this being the big wave 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I like it. But we'll just see trading key levels with invalidation. See what happens when we get there, if we get there. Oh, welcome. Crypto Phoenix says, I'm sold, just purchased the yearly plan, hope to learn and earn. Welcome. Now, I'm going to, please, if you are not an experienced trader, and what I mean by experienced trader is this, do you understand risk management, probabilities over large numbers? Do you understand that even if you have a 50% win rate, you have a 100% chance to lose 100 trades in a row, 10 trades in a row, 15 trades in a row, given a large enough sample size? Like, you really have to understand how to trade before you're trading with live funds. So please start paper trading, and not even just if you're an inexperienced trader, if you're trading new ideas. So for example, like when I start trading I'm coming up with a new scalping system. Do you think it makes sense for me to be putting serious funds at risk when I'm developing an idea and a system? No. I want to come up with a concept. I think this will work. I think this will work. I think this will work. I want to see how I can execute it, and then I put on 1,000 trades and literally do that with almost no money before I'm putting any money at risk. And once I start liking the data I'm getting, I say, okay, I want to capitalize on this edge. And so if you have new ideas you're trading, just paper trade it or put on a really small amount of risk until you have your own trading data, because it's not just about technicals. How you size is really important, and all this is taught in the Discord, and you'll understand it if you go through the educational content, like not just the daily updates, the live updates where I'm explaining my trades. Those are supplementary to ideas that are explained in the educational content. So because I know it's so important for me to share the concepts in a live environment. Because it's one thing to learn like order flow ideas. Oh, there's a lot of longs coming in here, and Lucky just showed like price history of the last 3 days in this video, or he made a video of him doing it live. And so would I short this? Should I short this? Would I long this? Where's my invalidation? It's much different trying to apply a hindsight idea and then see it live on the chart. And so I post live updates to say, hey, I don't know what's going to happen next, but this is what I'm doing and why, and I'm using this concept to do it. And so, yeah, it's one thing seeing something in hindsight. I think it's really important for me to put my money where my mouth is, in a sense, and demonstrate those concepts in a live market environment. But that's not because I think that everybody should copy trade me and use it as a signal. I think they should use it as an opportunity to understand. They should copy trade it with paper trading, 100%, and any ideas that they have and want to practice. Yeah, and so that's great. Sitso Zen says 1% always no greed, so that's just referring to 1% risk per trade. That's a pretty common standard for professional traders. There's people who risk more, there's people who risk less, but there's a lot of people that have no concept of that a trade should ever be wrong. That you could take a good trade that doesn't work, and it's okay. You take your stop loss, and you could take a trade that has less than a 50% chance in your mind of working, and it still makes sense. Because if I'm getting paid 10 to 1 on my risk, even if it's a 50-50 chance, well, I want to take as many 50-50 chances to get 10 to 1 on my risk as I can. I just want to take a small amount of risk. But people think I should go all in on this trade, I should go all in on this trade, and if it doesn't work, then TA's fake. Anyways, yeah, interesting. So the guy who just joined for a year says he's lost 49K in futures since the bear lows, hard game. Absolutely. I got a comment from someone the other day. I've had a couple kind of weird comments. And if you're probably in the live stream because you're in my Twitter comments a lot, and I'm not bashing you, but they for the last 2 years they've commented quite consistently, and my comments always very positive. And they said, I've been wanting to join your Discord for 2 years. I've liquidated so many accounts trying to trade, and we're hoping they won the Discord giveaway, Discord membership giveaway. And I was kind of just curious how much money they had lost. And they're saying, like, you're the best, I want to join, I hope I win this giveaway, I keep liquidating accounts. And it's kind of like, I wonder how much money they've lost. And they're just like, but they wouldn't ever join the Discord. And the one that just stands out to me the most is, I've said it a few times, a guy messaged me and said, I lost $1 million this year trying to learn how to trade. I really want to start taking it seriously, but I'm not sure about joining your Discord. It looks like it's really good. Can you give me a free 1 month so I can see if it's worth it? I'm like, dude, you're kind of a lost cause. You don't want to spend $90 on the Discord, but you lost $1 million this year trading as a beginner, have no idea what you're doing, but you don't want to waste money. It's like your priorities are so skewed. I've given away a lot of free memberships to people, but I'm not going to give away a free membership under those conditions. That's just crazy. Like it's like almost incomprehensible to me. But anyways, I'm going to sign off pretty soon here, and not kind of ramble on. I mean, obviously trading is a lot about waiting. We have a lot of squiggles on the chart. Probably should be in here scalping some of this big negative delta here, but maybe I'll do a live stream. I'm kind of on a mini vacation right now this week, still working, but I might do a mini members live stream, like scalping live this week. So we'll see. Yeah, the video will be available, everyone. Anyone coming in live, it usually takes like 30 minutes for it to, like, I guess, upload the recording, and then you can just click the same link and you can watch the recording. The only reason I don't want to do a live scalping video on the 15-second chart is because like I don't want people trying to copy that. You really have to know what you're doing, and like the difference between a second, the difference between a decision, the slight delay, and then your sizing is so important. But it's just not something I want to see copy traded. But I did just do that video of me recording every single trade in the trading account as I took it, explaining what I'm doing. And so, I mean, obviously members have loved that. I think it's going to shock a lot of people if I make it public, that what I actually did. And the crazy thing is, 2 days before, I ran an account from $450. It reached $13,000, $450 to $13,000 over the weekend. And I only got 11.5 out of it though. But then a couple days later, I said I'll do it on video, and went from $190 to $6,000 in one night, every trade recorded. And the reason that people won't understand how crazy it is, like, oh, you got lucky. You literally can't get that lucky. Like, people could try their entire lives to scalp the 15-second chart and come out of 100 or so trades that way, and they'd never achieve it, let alone doing it twice in a week, let alone doing it the day after they say, I can do some insane things on low time frame scalping. I just don't know how I feel about sharing it. And then the next day doing it, and then 2 days later doing it live on video. It's kind of crazy. But a lot of fun. I think people learned a lot from it, so I think it was a success. From the comments I've gotten from members who have watched it, it's not something that has promoted, I don't think, people to start gambling and taking on tons of risk. I think it's been an actual educational experience for people where they've been able to take those concepts and apply them to their trading. That's my impression so far anyways, which is good. All right. Well, anything happening in order flow? Not really. I mean, technically bullish here locally. I'm not trading this. I mean, if I get this, I'm probably trading this down to this descending trend line. Other than that, I won't be surprised to see this front run, looking for these highs to get taken. If we just break out of them, looking for higher. And if I get I'm basically going to be staring at the order flow and just saying, is there a trigger here? If there's a trigger, I'm going to take it. If I get a trigger, I'm going to take it. I'm not going to assume there's going to be a trigger, but if I get it, I'm going to take it. I'm prepared to take it. And I should note that there's a lot of, this could end really bullishly or it could end very bearishly, but there's a lot of alts also coming up to retest important levels. For example, like the idea on Doge, I mean, this was my idea from back here. Come up and retest these lows, something like that. I can't help but notice that a lot of alts are coming up to retest some important resistance as well, where we could see some big clean retracements. So yeah, just prepared to short if I get a trigger. That's what I'll say. Obviously we'll be updating in the Discord if I do. Yeah, someone says they want the scalping video on the free Discord as well. Probably what I'm going to do, and it's maybe a little bit vindictive of me, is just when I do share it publicly, I'm just going to share it in the public Discord, because there were some comments that they just kind of annoyed me. Like, yeah, I know it's like 1% of my followers, and so I shouldn't punish everyone for it. But I just literally couldn't help but think, I do not want this person or anyone like this to get access to some of that alpha. And I know they'll watch it if I post it. And so what can I do to make sure that they don't get it? And and so probably the best way to do it is just post it in the Discord, the free Discord. Yeah, someone says, wow. Okay, this is something I'm going to touch on really quickly. Someone says, wow, can be so overwhelmed when you first join the member section, so much content. There is a lot of content, and I've asked so many members if it's too much. Like, not only is there a lot of content, I also update quite frequently with pretty long explanations on what I'm doing. I mean, sitting here really explaining what I'm doing. If it's too much to follow, I think everyone has said the more the better. They love it. I don't know how it's not too much, honestly, some days. But anyways, it can be overwhelming. And so this is what I want to share. Let me just blank out the name really quick. Okay, I should be able to blank this out. Give me one moment. Okay, so this was just a while ago, like a month ago, I ran let me just make sure there's nothing personal in here. I don't think so. I'll just read it. Wait. Okay. A while ago, somebody joined for the 3-day free trial, and if they didn't cancel, they got charged a membership. So they said they wanted a refund. They didn't mean to stay. They said they appreciate what I'm doing. It's just not for them. And so I said, get me your details of when you signed up, and I'll get a refund because I understand you didn't mean to stay as a member. But then they never responded to me. And then maybe 2 weeks later or a week and a half later said, "Hi there, thanks for getting back to me. I slowly started to get used to the Discord. This is my first time I'm really using it. And at first I found it overwhelming and messy. Since I've already paid, I've started to spend some time on your Discord. There's definitely a lot of value. And since I can only spend limited time on due to full-time job, I'm not sure if it makes sense for me, but I'm going to stay for the first month and take in as much as I can, and I'll let you know in a few weeks if I plan to stay longer." So one thing I'll say is that if you've never used Discord, when you first join, it can just be like so overwhelming. And so I'll just say, this is how it works. If you're not a member, you don't see all of these channels. You only see the non-members channels. When you become a member, you get access to these 3 headers. One is Lucky's updates. These are just specific topics that only my updates will show up. So Bitcoin updates, ETH updates, alt charts, alt trades, day trades. So for example, the trade today is in the day trades channel. It's just a local low time frame setup. That's the one I explained earlier. Looking for this low to get taken. All categorized by Lucky's updates, and then you expand it, and there's the different categories, and you'll get notifications when I post. Then the Lucky Apes channel. So this is members channels where members hang out and talk. So lots of members in here talking every day. It's not uncommon for me to just wake up and there's 100 new messages in here, just talking about different things, sharing their own trade setups. There's an active traders channel. This is, you have to be here for a little while and you get a new role. It doesn't cost any money, but it's just, it's for people who are really actively trading, to share some ideas in here. Noob questions, trading conversations. So this is a conversation I had with a member earlier today, and members sharing all their ideas and explaining them as well under different headings. So that's kind of how it works. And then educational content. And you can go through here and work through all of the educational content. Commonly asked questions. So this is actually, it's an old PDF, but it's like a multi-100-page PDF that was put together. It's 260 pages of commonly asked questions in the Discord with the conversations and topics inside of a PDF document. So there's a lot of resources, but it is actually quite organized once you get used to the layout of the Discord. And Discord's actually quite good for this type of thing, but if you've never used it, it is a little overwhelming at first. It's like being the dog whisperer. Somebody says, "What is order flow saying to you?" But right now, I mean, there's arguably an actionable scalp long off these lows, off of order flow. I mean, it's an undeniably bullish divergence. Really needed to be entered a little bit more aggressively than this down at these lows. This is bullish, and it's just bullish because we have heavy selling. It's been a continued Every time these big heavy sell-offs are getting absorbed, price is pushing higher. It's an indication price is more likely to push higher. We had another one, and we can just measure. The simple way to look at it here would just be to measure that CVD is making an equal low and price is making a higher low. That's a bullish divergence, and we have the big $11 million long closing there getting absorbed, and then price is pushing higher. So think of it like this: price is pushing down to grab that liquidity, stop out this long, and then push higher, probably trying to bait this long back end higher, right? And that's just happening over and over. Longs open, they close on getting scared on this local pullback, price pushes higher, they open, close, and they're just getting chopped up, opening here, right? Range, opening big longs, flushed out, price carries higher, opening, and they're just not getting any value out of this whole move up, right? They're just getting chopped up, opening at the highs, trying to close aggressively so they don't get stopped out. Then price goes higher over and over and over, and that's kind of what's happening here. But this context can change all very quickly. Presumably there's some liquidity down under these lows as well. Maybe we get more aggressive longs come up into the highs, come run that liquidity and see another leg up. But yeah, I'd say the context here is still probably bullish towards these highs, and doesn't mean you don't want to trade around key technical ideas though, right? You still want to be looking for key technical ideas in confluence with order flow. Don't have to take a trade every 5-second candle. No, I'm not going to explain the layout I have in EXO and the settings to make it. There's obviously tons of settings, but you can if you're a member, the template is downloadable in the order flow. I'll just show here educational content. So I almost recognize your name. I think you're a member. I'm not sure. So if you go into the educational content, go under order flow, and you'll see here different order flow. At the very bottom, you can get my templates if you want these same settings, and put them in EXO. What's the open interest indicator you're using? So this is not TradingView. This is a platform called EXO Charts. There's other free order flow softwares. I think this one's 40 euros a month, or 30 euros or 40 euros a month. I'm not sure. But there's also free ones that will show you the same data, and you don't need to pay for the data, but it's not really available in an accurate way from TradingView. 60 euros per month for EXO Charts. Yeah, so I mean it's kind of funny because EXO Charts as a tool is almost the same price as the LATF Discord. It's like not much cheaper. But there's free order flow alternatives too. Like Addis has free crypto order flow. You can use Coinalyze for just the simple CVD lines, and GoCharting.com has some free order flow as well. And it's all the same as time zones I'm in. I'm all over the place. Like somebody commented the other day that they were a new member. I think it was in the member review thing on Twitter. I asked for some members to give their reviews, and I probably 30 reviews in there, not a single negative review, which is pretty cool. But they said I seem to be on like 19 hours a day. Not true every day, but I span a lot of time zones, and I'm traveling always quite a bit, but usually quite active throughout mini trading sessions. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I really appreciate everyone tuning in. I just wanted to kind of go over the core ideas here I'm looking at on Bitcoin and some of the higher time frame ideas on alts. Maybe cover a little bit of this order flow context for members, because I've just been giving static written updates through some of this, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I can sense, I don't know, maybe I'm reading into it a little bit more. I can sense a lot more confidence out of members in their trading after that scalping video. Maybe that's just in their like conversations and updates in the Ape chat room. Maybe I'm reading into that a little bit, and maybe you guys can confirm it or not. But anyways, fun times.